I didn't realize that that the Oregon Trail actually ended in your office.
Oh,
Um,
starts and ended. I mean,
wi-
come on. It's like a big loop. It's a big loop. Wow.
it's like
Isn't
this.
this a cool sign, though? Isn't this a
It
cool
is.
sign? I
I
mean,
where have I
it
seen
came
that?
with,
Did I live when I lived there? Did I see that sign somewhere? Did you take that off
dude,
another building?
no, I'm telling you, when I got this building, I was part of the deal is I got to keep, and I think Historical Society or whatever. So when we remodeled and everything, the designer just told us this last week, but we're in the Welcome Center here, by the way. But check this out. I didn't notice till this morning. I was just standing here getting ready for it. And I'm like, check it out. There's the elevator.
Nice.
It's like right there. So anyway,
It's
all right. Well, listen,
it
we
does my
got
heart
12
good,
seconds.
dude.
We're going to start. We got to start here. We got
It
12
does my heart
seconds.
good to see all this because those are the streets that I walked for 6 years, and it
I
just
know
doesn't.
this was a hood. This was your hood for a while.
This does my heart so good to see it,
Yeah,
and be able to see you on a weekly basis and see all the people that hang out with us when they
it
join us.
is. And I hope people are hanging out because really we don't have any. We're live, by the way. We're going
You
for it.
are live.
We're on. So
I
that's the
know.
way
I
it is.
love it.
But yeah, and I love the thing I love about this is we don't have a producer. We do have Ben, who's been amazing. He's on the other end, just making sure that not like last week where it's bouncing back and forth. That was a mess. But we just get to hang out together, and that's really what we're doing. We don't really have other than we want to be encouragement. We want to shout out the encouragement. We haven't really have like a production run where we go through and it's like, okay, these are all the things we're doing. We kind of talk for a few minutes and say,
Yeah.
hey, nice pool, nice sign, and then we go for it.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed because it was a lot of work. We put in a pool this weekend. We heard that. I mean, we're going to hit 90 degrees multiple times this week, which that's like they should shut work down.
That's a record for you guys, isn't it? Honestly,
it's not a record.
1st of June.
It's not usual. And I want to say they did the countdown and they said it's been almost it's been like 450 some days since our last 90-degree day. And so, yeah, there should be a parade in the streets. There should be just a lot of jovial dancing.
That's awesome. Well, hey, it's good. It's a good day. It's beautiful here too. So that's good. Okay. Now you brought up this thing. We can't get off on a tangent, but since friends are coming on and they might watch us later, can I ask, now I'm just a middle-aged dad. I get it, but what's up with this adding other words now to words? You just did the same thing. It's not normal, which would be the same as abnormal.
Abnormal, right.
Abnormal. But you add another word, not normal. And then when did this start, instead of being you're correct, to you're not wrong? What is that? When did that happen?
Well, I think
what
it actually
happened there.
I think it happened because what is how when Fitbits came out and everybody was trying to get like their steps in. We got to get our steps in. So I think it's just a way for us to make sure we get our words in. I mean, that's
that's probably it, because I'm thinning out my face with this. It's really helping.
It does. It helps lift the jawline up
okay, that's good. Yeah. So one of my 3 chins might go away if I just keep doing this appropriately. Okay, I'm just catching on. Sorry, I didn't want to give a tangent, but I've been wanting to find out from someone that is closer to the epicenter of cultural coolness. And so since you're on, I thought, hey, I would just check. I love it because I didn't understand the not wrong thing, I don't understand. It just isn't that.
Well, now that we know that,
you're right.
Why are we here? Yeah, why are we here, John? Why are we here now that we do know that? Why are we here today? Why are we asking people to jump on with us?
We're here every Monday for the last month to shout out, and we want to hashtag shout out. That's the best thing we can do is hashtag shout out, and we just really want to be an encouragement. There is so much yuck going on and discouragement around. We want to be an encouragement. We don't want to ignore very real hurt and very real pain, whether it's the corona or the things that are happening right now because of racial tensions. That we're not here to ignore reality, but there's a reality that's deeper than we as Christians, a follower of Jesus, which both you and I are, and we lead ministry. So full disclosure, we have a lot of friends that come from all sorts of different backgrounds of life and that. But as followers of Jesus, it's so important to model what he did and to be an encouragement. And the early disciples were always talking about thinking on the things that are good and noble and right, and being able to pass that on. This morning when we were thinking about hanging out, the scripture came to me out of Philippians chapter 4.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
it says, finally, brothers, bros, and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, right, whatever is pure, lovely, admirable, if anything's excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things.
Yeah.
Whatever you've learned and received or heard from me, and this is, the Apostle Paul talking, but he's saying, if you've seen it in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. So for me, it's like, what can we do to recognize those attributes in other people and actively do it? And I kind of thought at first, honestly, I think, are we overkill? And there's a lot of positive people. And there are so many exciting things happening, so many good things happening. But it's not part of our norm, dude. It's not, is it? I mean, we can get off into everything going in life, and we can hear the news and everything's going, and we just forget to think, wow, how positive, how many good things are happening. And it's easy for us, we talked about, to kind of be positive out there, like, thank you for all of the whatever category of people. But we want to try and develop a habit of being really specific and saying, you know what, today I'm going to hashtag shout out, and I'm going to put someone's name on there, and I'm going to put them on this thread or another thread, but on this thread, and I'm going to say hashtag Bob Smith, whatever. I mean, we'll talk about our shout outs in a second here, but man, we want to do that. And this is why, because you mean so much to me, and this is why you do. And man, when you do this, it inspires me. When you do this, it makes me a better human being. It makes me more like Jesus. So anyway, that's what we're about. That's what we're doing. So I don't know, a lot of things happen, and you and I just briefly had a chance to dive in here before, pre-show, kind of just to talk, but it was pretty short today. And I don't know, a lot of things going on, a lot of things happen, a lot of tension. I spent yesterday, just really felt grieved after we had our morning, time of worship and that with our faith family. I need to call and just talk and hang out with my African-American brothers. I didn't call any of my sisters, but I did spend a little time talking to multiple of my friends, just listening, just hearing how things are going, because I felt like I needed to do that, listen to a couple podcasts, and then a couple of my law enforcement friends, just calling them, just, want to listen to them, how they're doing. I was able to get a hold of two yesterday, and just to check in, just to talk and get their perspective and how they're doing. So I don't know, I'm just trying to listen, and because my heart's been heavy, super heavy with everything that's going on. So that's what's kind of going, and we're a encouragement, show, but it's like, man, I gotta be honest with you. I come to this morning, from a heavy weekend, and I know you have too. So I've been reading your posts online and stuff. So share what's going on, and maybe do some of your shout outs and share a little bit.
Well, I think that you're right, John. I think that the things that grieve God's heart and that breaks his heart. I mean, if our desire is to be conformed into the likeness of Christ, then it only makes sense that if it grieves his heart and breaks his heart, it should grieve ours and break our heart as well, right? I mean, that just makes sense. And so for us to recognize that this, what's going on in our culture, in our society, it is grieving God's heart. And as followers and believers, as people who want to be, vessels and conduits of that grace and love and mercy, the same mercy and love and grace that we've been shown in our life, when that's not given, it should grieve our heart. And so that's right. But it's out of that place then that we press into God, receive encouragement from his Holy Spirit. And then we don't just keep that encouragement to ourselves. We can then pour out that encouragement into other people. And it's exactly what you just read out of Philippians chapter 4. And so that's what I've been thinking about. And yesterday, at 7:00 last night in downtown Sioux Falls, about probably close to 300 people, I would say, of all ages, all colors, all denominations, all backgrounds, got together to worship and to pray to the God of love.
It was so cool, by the way. I saw the pictures you posted. You can look at it on your Facebook page. And it was so cool.
It was a powerful night. And so, I mean, I just was greatly encouraged how the church, Big C, that, showed up and just said, man, we just need Jesus. We want to press in. We want to ask him to heal our land. We want him to heal hearts. We want him to reconcile and redeem broken relationships that are happening, in our city and nationally. So, I mean, my shout outs, flat out, are just to those guys who kind of helped organize that. Pastor Phil Tagg, Pastor Twan Jackson, Pastor Charlie Sanders, Pastor Joshua Duncan. And there were so many worship leaders from different churches that came together as well. And it was just a great night of just leaning into the Lord. And then knowing that
Cool.
as we were doing that, John, there were other things going on in our cities that was not worshipful. There was people that were, trying to, cause harm and all of that. And so immediately from there, we transitioned to then being thankful and praying for our law enforcement as and mayor and governor, as they were making decisions to keep Sioux Falls safe, which, praise God, they really did a great job. So specifically, Sergeant John Toom, who was on the front lines and talked last night on the news. I'm just thankful for him and his leadership and just the police force in general in Sioux Falls. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Man, you got some tags to do there, buddy. That's some serious tags, shout out tags on there. You said something that was cool about what grieves the heart of God. I like what you're saying, that should grieve our heart. And if it doesn't, that might be time for us to kind of check,
Right.
Hello, take inventory, something's not grieving our heart. And if I'm responding to it with just indignant, my own frustration or anger, or whatever, it's a great opportunity to say, okay, let's take inventory then. Spirit of God, talk to me about what this is, because there are things that are grieving. And I know you know this because I know you, we know each other well. And I know when you're saying injustices, you mean both injustices against our brothers and sisters of different ethnicities and different colors, the injustice that's happening there. When there's an injustice like that, it's painful it hurts. This isn't a political show, so we're not being, political and all that. We each have our own views and we can, talk about those things or post them. But the reality is that, man, I'm trying to listen and trying to hear, and my heart grieves. I like what you said, about that. I like the word you said, just grieve. It grieves my heart. Yeah. So I got to pray. I've been pressing into the Lord on this, checking in with my friends, listening well. But I'm also the injustice when evil people, I'm just going to say what it is, evil, those things that are not of God, those things that are not of righteousness are of evil. And when evil people hijack things that genuinely grieve the heart of God, man, it infuriates me and it also grieves me all at the same time. I'm just being transparent and honest. I don't know. Sometimes am I more angry or more sad? And there's been very few times when sometimes I don't even know how to pray, dude. Yeah. I just don't even know. I'm just like, but guys like you and I, when we're short for words, that's a problem because, that doesn't happen often for you and I, but it did. I mean, like even yesterday I was like when Paul talks about, groaning before God and the Spirit's going to translate that. And I wasn't even sure how to pray sometimes. That's when I was done praying and groaning and honestly just brought the tears, and I'm a crier. I cried during like even an old Little House on the Prairie rerun or something like that. I'll do that. But I was just kind of, just grieved. And so anyway, I just want to counter that.
Yeah. And I think that's but I think that's okay at times too, to just say sometimes it's better to not try to fill it with our words. And, yeah, sure. And, I think we've had multiple conversations about this in the past as well, but it's that ministry of presence. So when someone is grieving the loss of someone or whatever, and, they don't need a bunch of trite words, which may sound trite to them. I don't mean they're trite coming out, or they might not need your words. What they just need is your presence. They just need to know that you're with them and that you're there to bring comfort and to do anything that you can do that could potentially, encourage them in that moment. And I just think about sometimes when we're grieving, God says, you don't need to bring me your words. Just bring me your presence and just be with me and allow my presence to fill you with the encouragement that you need. And I think that's the same as and why it was, you called friends yesterday. And I know that I reached out to several as well and just said, hey, we just want you to know that we love you and just we are present with you. And I think that ministry of presence is something that I've really tried to live out. And when I'm, like you can be somewhere and not be there, right?
Yeah.
And so, but it's being fully there and being fully present with them at that time. The same way when we're grieving, we say, God, will you be fully present with us because we need to know you're there.
Yeah, and I just want to encourage us again. This is a unique, every Monday is unique. I guess there's always something going on, but just like the Corona, when that Corona 19 happened, we specifically wanted to say, hey, let's counter that with some positivity and some encouragement and some both biblical and spirit directed inspiration to other people,
Yeah.
and encouragement, shout out. But when times like this last weekend happen as well, and this whole last week, it's like, hey, we want to counter that, not by being trite, because we don't even want to pretend to say, hey, I understand every detail of that. But man, these people are my friends. These are my brothers and sisters. And it's sometimes you just don't know what to say, but I can say injustice is happening in a lot of areas in our society. Whether it's, I just won't even go on to all the details of that. But for right now, I just want to give a specific shout out to some of my African-American brothers in particular, and sisters that are out there. So one of them I don't know, and she's inspired me, but I don't know her. And that is yesterday I was inspired by Keisha Lance, Mayor Keisha Lance of Atlanta. And I don't even know her political background. I don't know. This isn't a political statement or anything. It's just, I was simply moved by her speech as a mom, as a follower of God. I don't know her theological background, but clearly she said she prays, and everything that she was speaking was just like, whoa, there is a leader. There is a person that it's like, man, I want to stop and listen to that gal, talk. So anyway, I just wanted to shout out to her, and I'll tag her and thank her for that. Ronnie Wright, brother of mine, he's part of our men's group that was there this morning. Ronnie, I love you. Ronnie's 70 years old, got a huge history and a heart for Jesus, and is an encouragement to me in so many ways, and to so many others. So I'll shout out to Ronnie. He's not a Facebook guy, but I can't tag him, but I shouted out to him earlier. But it's just loving him. Those that are on Facebook, his son and others are on Facebook, and so maybe I'll tag them, and just so that they can know, man, know that you're being encouraged today. Another one's Wilson Smith, works at Nike. People know who he is that's on there. Great brother. He posted a wonderful prayer that I'll probably forward over onto my page. And just, thank you, Wilson, for being a light for the gospel, and, for your tenderness and honesty when sharing about race issues. And he does it well, and I'm grateful for that. Police officer, I'm going to give a shout out to Mike Vermace, who's a chaplain for the sheriff's department in our county, as well as other police departments here in Oregon State. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate. And these guys, they put on, as a chaplain, oh my gosh, he's got hundreds of officers that he's trying to encourage and be. So I just want to shout out to Mike for your work doing that, and just really cool. And one last little shout out, Tom. This is someone that so and I think she came up on another thing, is Hope Wingate. Hope Rivik. She sent me this. I mean, and I'm saying this because this is a way you can encourage someone that's like, maybe you're not going to do the video, maybe you're not doing a shout out, online, whatever.
Tag them, yeah.
She sent me this picture out of the blue. She sent me these pictures of these masks. She said, hey, any ministry that would need these? And she was sweet as can be. I don't know where she got. She took the logo for our organization off the web or whatever and had it ironed on, and she handmade these masks. I mean, now some people say, well, okay, big deal, dude. Everyone's making masks. And you'd be right. I mean, everyone is. It's like, but I was just like, I was so encouraged by that. It's like she thought, how thoughtful, to make and to send a picture. She put them in the mail today. I don't know. That is just, those kind of things are the things that I don't want us to miss. That's what we're about. You and I, that's why we're hanging out Mondays, other than we just like each other, and that's kind of fun too. But until we get a producer that can actually produce the show and we can do something really cool, we're just hanging out and reminding everyone out there, our friends and people that come to this spot or that see this video, be an encouragement, be good news, be the gospel, do something today that is just going to infuse someone else with the genuine love of God that people are hungry for, whether they know that's the flavor they're looking for or not. It's within every one of us to want to experience the love of God and others.
Right.
So I just want, Tom and I, that's what we're doing. We just want to say, hey, shout out. It's Monday. Get serious. Don't let this go by. Seriously, pound shout out. Did I say pound again? Oh my gosh, I did it.
I love it when you do that. It's hilarious. It gives me joy every time you do it.
Do the pound hashtag on.
We're gonna get you trendy before we know it. But no, I think you're exactly right, Johnny. And when you were just kind of finishing up there, it reminded me of just something I learned so early. It's you see a need and you fill a need, but it's just like we just talked about how if something grieves God's heart in our desire to be more like Jesus, we need to say, God, break my heart of the things that break your heart. But at the same time, I think another prayer for us is, God, help me see those needs today.
Yeah, open our eyes to it.
Help me see those needs, because it's hard for us to fill the need if we don't see it.
Yeah.
And I think that things like this weekend, like in Sioux Falls, we had a very peaceful, beautiful protest yesterday that took place at 5 p.m. Well over 2,000 people walking together, and it was so peaceful. And it was saying, hey, we see the need. And we want to do our part to call out injustice. We want to do our part to peacefully say, we can be better. We can move beyond this. We can love people, all people. But it takes the seeing of the need first. And I think right now in our culture, in our country, in the world, we're seeing the need maybe like we've never had our eyes open before. And that's my prayer that comes out of this, is that we would, maybe we've seen it now, but then how are we going to respond?
Yeah, that's good. It doesn't, I'm sorry to interrupt. Isn't that the part that kind of torques you? Is that the need is so real. It is the actual need, let's just say racial inequality and injustice, is so real and tangible and something we have to be aware of, and our eyes have to be open. But these other things that hijack it, pull our attention off of the actual need that we need to be focusing on and adjusting our life around. And I think that what you're saying, I just think is so cool, because it's that way with everything. When we're done with this video, when we go into our day today, are we going to actively allow ourselves to have an awareness that says we're not going to get distracted, emotionally, whatever? It doesn't mean that those things don't need to be addressed too. Obviously, we've already said we know that they do. Yeah. But it's like, man, we don't want to get our heart and mind off and miss seeing the needs and reaching the least of these and caring for the vulnerable, whatever that vulnerable class is. Right. And right now we're speaking clearly to our brothers and sisters of African-American descent, that we are loving and caring, and specifically around that, we're with you. But we don't want to just live out this gospel life and miss out on what God's wanting to say and have our hearts stirred and broke, for those things. So anyway, really cool stuff, Tom. Thanks for bringing that up. And it's cool. Well,
and then I know we got to get going, but
I know it's 9:23.
I love the way that these things trigger other thoughts in your mind. It really comes down to, I was thinking about this last night as we finished our worship time. So we get done with 2 hours and 45 minutes, worship, prayer, powerful, God's Spirit is there and whatever. And those, and you think about the great peaceful protest gathering of people that happened yesterday in Sioux Falls. Those are mountaintop experiences, and they are just phenomenal. But we don't live our lives on the mountaintops, right? I mean, and I always like to say we live our lives on the plains of normalcy and in the valleys of challenges, especially in South Dakota, because that's all we have is plains.
Yeah,
of
that's good. You have no option, really.
Right. But the thing is that Jesus travels with us down from the mountaintop experience into everyday normal life. And so we just need to transition the energy, the focus, the mission identification, all those kinds of things that we achieved on the mountaintop, and say, okay, now we want that to be a part of our normal lives, and let that be a driving force for us, so that we just don't leave it there. Because it's simple. We are experiential people. And so we have this experience, and then all of a sudden we're like, okay, that experience is done, and we move on, or we look for the next experience. But how can that experience change us? And I feel like it comes from a change of our heart. And that's what we need, just a change of our heart towards people. And that when Jesus came to give life, and life in the full, that's not just for a certain section of people.
Yeah, it's everybody.
It's everybody. For all people. Jesus went to the cross for everybody. Salvation is for everybody. So anyway, I love the conversation today.
Yeah, me too. Hey, and I know I'm going to let you, close off with that metaphor, but I do think at some level it's a justification for you to live in the flatlands of South Dakota where there are no mountains, for you to be able to have mountaintops. I think there's some kind of justification in there, but I'm going to let that slide. But know that I love you and love hanging out with you. And I don't know, man, it would be good to have, some producer that puts a show together, that has like cool music and the things. And
we don't need it. Look, we got a historical Oregon City sign, and we got a inflatable pool. That's a
Mr. Turtle pool, blow up pool, and the flowers, the one sister that we talked about last week. That's great. Well, hey, have an amazing day. Enjoy that 80-some degree weather in Sioux Falls. And let me just remind everyone that's out there in Facebook land, because we're doing this only on Facebook, share this. But hashtag, not to be confused with pound. It would not be good, but hashtag shout out, and put someone on there. Tom's going to put his on his thread. I'm going to put mine on as well. And let's love people today. Let's keep our eyes open, as Tom's reminded us. Let's not let anything distract us from being able to see and hear from God, and to be an agent of his grace and love to others. So shout it out. It's Monday. And love you, bro.
Hey, love you. Have a great week, everybody. See you next week.
Peace out from Oregon City.